good interweb? I'm your man Q, back again with something new and something I'm like super excited about. I'm joined today by William Christopher Stevens.
Hello, Aerith.
What do you want?
Haven't seen him before. He your new boy toy?
He's my bodyguard, if you must know.
Wait a minute. Those eyes. Is he the one who beat up Reno?
And what if I am?
Need to cross my T's, dot my I's, that's all.
This man is rude in Final Fantasy VII R, the remake. Thank you, first and foremost, Will, for, coming in and chopping it up and talking to me. I really appreciate it.
Happy I can be here to speak with everybody and all the fans of Final Fantasy and games abroad. So, yeah, I'm pretty excited. Looking forward to just sharing details of my experiences and all the gamer love.
Okay. Nothing like gamer love, especially in this particular time in day. So the first thing I want to say is hopefully you're doing pretty good with the whole COVID-19 situation, that you and yours are good. That's always the top priority and mindset with this, the way the world is right now, which is kind of crazy. I've been telling people this. It really feels like we're playing a Final Fantasy game. It really feels like it's like the plot of Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah, that's a good comparison right now. It's an epidemic going on worldwide proportions. It seems like everything is at stake, there are people under some extreme challenges. Good to say my folks and I are well. I'm sitting here with some hot tea, about to take part of that, and spirits and good health, and, just keeping a positive mindset.
How did you come about getting the role as Rude on the Final Fantasy VII, the remake? This is, that seems like a high commodity, deal. That's a big deal to be on Final Fantasy. Like, were you a fan before, and how did that come about? Were you able to get the role?
First of all, let me pay my respects to Grace of God for one, to get it. My agent over at Atlas Talent sent me the information, and with a lot of stuff going on right now as far as movies and games, the high profile stuff, a lot of people keep NDAs to sign. So when I first got the call about it, which came from an email, they give you they don't give you the actual title.
Okay.
So I didn't even know what it was. It's like, okay, they give you a character description, they may or not give you a character sketch.
No, just some minute details, if you want to go down and really start digging, like, what property is this? I had an idea. I knew it was a Japanese-based game based off the art and some of the things. It's like, okay, somewhat familiar with what I'm seeing, but I don't know. I didn't want to speculate.
Yeah.
Of course, you get the call and you go in there, it's like, oh, snap.
Okay.
I was just like, okay. Yeah, I'm familiar somewhat with this world, the characters, and at that point, I think the first Final Fantasy game I played might have been on Super NES.
Okay.
I think it was 3.
Yep.
Yeah, and I played that and didn't beat it, but I enjoyed it tremendously. And then, so I've always at least been aware of Final Fantasy and played different versions of it, but 7 was the first one that I beat.
Okay.
So yeah, I got it, went in there, and just everybody, the whole team that I was working with, director, editor, everybody just had fun,
Okay.
And I remember signing one young lady who was working on the sound booth. She already had a T-shirt and things ready for the release of the game. Like, can you sign this? And she had a whole cast on there. I was like, wow, she's definitely
ready.
Yeah, so she was getting ready, and now here it is, man. That was finished working on it last time I might have been in was in December.
Oh, okay. Well, that was recent then.
Yeah,
it was recent then. Okay.
Wrapping up my VO audio, so it just shows you how fast things can happen.
Yeah.
Like they were getting audio and cutting it and put it into the game. It was like, wow. And then you see the finished product, and it's like, that's me. It looks great, and yeah, here we are.
So let me give y'all a little quick backstory. A friend of a friend of both of ours, her name is Eris. It's spelled with an E, not with an A. And I just happened to send her a video. I was like, check out my video. I'm doing, a series about Final Fantasy VII. It just came out. And it's for people who don't like Final Fantasy, or not they don't like it, they don't know anything about it. And so she watched the video and she's like, okay, this is pretty good. And then all of a sudden she said, you know what? I know somebody who worked as a voice actor, some black guy on the game. And I'm like, some black guy on the game? So, I'm like, it's a couple of brothers on the game. I'm like, so is it Uncle Barrett or is it my cousin Rude? Like, and right at that moment, which is ironic, and that's how things happen, is I was just on that part with Aerith in the game right when you meet Rude, and I'm just like, this is this man Will. I said, wow, and then I'm like, I heard his voice before, and I was like, I think I've heard his voice before on Mortal Kombat. And so I was like, okay, you've been around. You got some chops within, the video game spectrum. And that's an amazing platform, especially nowadays. And again, to be on, because I think Final Fantasy is a higher tier than Mortal Kombat. It's subjective, whoever what gamer you're talking to be honest. I don't want no trouble, but globally, it just seems like story-wise and how the fanfare and everything for Final Fantasy it's just such a just to be like people say with Star Wars. Everybody wants to just sign up for it. Just let me be in be in it. Like now you're Rude is immortalized,
Yeah, definitely, and he plays a much larger role in this game. They expanded on it because it's just taking place in Midgar, so you're going to get a chance to really go in depth to a lot of stuff. So yeah, it was one of those times like when I got to see the character and I was like, oh, this is cool, And like when Final Fantasy VII first came out, I was just excited. It's a black character in there. It's a black guy in there.
People don't for a lot of folks. Let me be real because it's a whole bunch of diverse people that watch. And back in '97, and even so much now, until Black Panther now and Princess and the Frog with Tiana, there wasn't black characters. I was born in the '80s, and there wasn't no black characters like that back in the day. I used to paint all my action figures black, like my He-Man and stuff, G.I. Joes. I didn't understand, like how come we ain't got that much representation? So to be able to see a brother in the game and two is big, and I love the fact that even with both Rude and Barrett, they broke the trope of the stereotypical stuff. Like they made without no spoilers, of course. Barrett has become more of a he's become more of like a eco evangelist. If you want to say,
Y'all gotta look at the bigger picture here. Nothing worth fighting for was ever won without sacrifice. Though you may not be crying out, I know you're in pain, just like the planet. He's
still got a little hoodness in him, but he's speaking from almost like he's preaching to folks. And Rude is out here. He's being rude. Like seriously, he's out here like the Matrix. He's out here like Morpheus, knocking glasses break. He and put the glasses back on.
Okay then.
So, you had enough yet?
No, I don't believe that I have.
I'm not sure how far you've gotten in the game or if you've gotten a chance to play it yet. But even on the game, he kicked my ass. Rude was beating me up. Like the Turks was whooping me up, and I'd had a few game overs with Rude. When he picked me up and swung me around and body slammed me, I I mean, I'm out here in front of my lady. Me and Eric out here. I'm just trying to take her home. He got me, me and my baby taking her home, and he body slammed me, embarrassed me, bro. I'm just like, you ain't got to do me like that.
Honestly, I have to get my PS4 now.
Okay.
I'm trying to hold out for PS5 because it's supposed to be backwards compatible. But yeah, I have my physical copy coming now.
Okay.
I got the deluxe version with all that, so it's on the way. So really, I've just been watching the gameplay online.
All right.
And they're posting those videos with Cloud and fighting Brood and everything like that, and getting slammed.
Yep.
Getting dropped because he's all about the hand-to-hand. So I'm like, man, this is dope. And people are offering strategies on how to beat that first encounter. So I was like, oh, okay. It's challenging.
It really is. I'm a run-up player, and I've learned the hard way. I can't run up on this game like that. So that's what's, especially with the Turks, I've made that mistake a couple times. And Rude in particular, just like I said, he embarrassed me in front of Aerith, right in front of our house. Ain't nothing worse than getting beat up or caught up like right in front of your house, in front of your lady too.
Yeah, that's funny. Don't try to run up over here. Step in front of your house.
In front of your house.
I got this. No, don't do it, Cloud. I got it.
I remember the commercials. I know you probably remember the commercials too. I was much similar to you with, I hadn't played 3. And I remember the commercials here in the States. This was in 94-ish, 95. And I didn't know what it was, which is funny, is because I was into Sonic and NBA Jam, the typical games, how the things was at the time. And a friend of mine used to have me come over to his house and watch him play it. And I'm like, bro, I want to play Sonic. I don't want to play reading. And I ended up playing Chrono Trigger in like 96. And that's still my all-time favorite game. But right after that is when they start dropping these commercials for Final Fantasy VII. I'm like, I've seen this game before. Like, I've heard of it. And then when they show, Aerith, and they show Sephiroth and Cloud with the Buster Blade that's bigger than his body, right. I still remember trading all my games in basically to get the game and still have to add $30. Rabbit Rampage, Bugs Bunny Rabbit Rampage, Tiny Toons Buster Bust Loose for Super Nintendo, Maximum Carnage, Vector Man. I traded all these games in just to get Final Fantasy VII, a used copy, by the way.
So yeah, that was at the time when games really started to look like movies. Final Fantasy was definitely one of those games that put it on there. Everybody was like, what's this? I mean, it had a dreamless cinematic trailer. Like I said in my post when it came out, and I was working at EB. For those people listening, EB was before GameStop. Then GameStop came after EB. Even before EB, it was Electronics Boutique.
Yeah.
So, I mean, a lot of history there. But I was working at EB at the time when that game dropped. And, man, I remember just looking at they sent us the promo copies, the trailer was going on the screen. Man, every time it would come on, I would just stop and be sitting there. I remember sometime a customer like, hey, can I ring this up? Oh, just.
If I'm not mistaken, it might have been the first game with 3 discs. It might have been. I do know that it was the first game with FMV, the full motion videos, where that's when they really started ushering in those pre-renders at the time, where everything was pre-rendered. They just have the sprites go around it, and I just remember in this being awe. Like, the world was so big in such a small quarter, which was crazy. So to be able to walk through Midgar now and hear people say, the president's not gonna like this. I wonder what Shinra's gonna do. Hey, that's a big sword. just those little nuances to the game that just makes it more of a fully expansive universe. Like I'm so excited to see if it's, people have been complaining about it, but I'm okay that it's just on Midgar for now. But I've been wanting to see so much when we get to see Yuffie and Vincent and Sid. Like, how is Gold Saucer going to be? How is the Chocobo riding going to be? Are we going to have or is it going to be more of expansive Chocobos than we had on Final Fantasy 15, which had a decent little, Chocobo racings? What is the Chocobo breeding going to be like? The summons on the game are amazing too. It's so many different things that they brought to this game. Like, it's not a perfect game, even which nothing really is perfect. But for me, just off of the nostalgic factor, the only thing I probably would say I wish, and I understand why they didn't do it, is if it was the full game.
It's just that big, and everything that you said, all those little additional things. You gotta get to the airship, and then you go across the whole world pretty much. And then of course that end battle. So I think if they would have put it all on, one disc, which I don't know if they could have done all that. It holds a lot of information, but to make it as detailed as it is, because I got Red Dead Redemption, and that's 2 discs, and that world is immensely detailed.
Yeah.
So they're going for the gold on this. It's just like, hey, we'll give you this one, then we're going to keep expanding on it. And, they don't want to sacrifice any of the details and things that they started on now, because going back, I'm in 97, the first Final Fantasy 7 came out. It was supposed to be 2D. And I think they started looking at all the benefits and things, the processing power with PlayStation, and they made that switch. I think that was that. There was a rift between Squaresoft and Nintendo for a while, because it used to be Nintendo exclusive. And like, well, hey, look, we're going to make the switch because we want to do some things that, unfortunately, your console doesn't have the ability to do. And they took a risk, and it paid off.
It did.
Huge.
It did.
Huge. Sometimes you got to do that. But I can understand, some people who are upset. I haven't read the comments and things like that. Most of the things I saw were positive. But I kind of look at it when George Lucas did Star Wars, the original one. And then later on, because of technology and the advancements, he's like, I got some things I wanted to do, but I did not have the capabilities. Now I have the technology. I also have more say as far as what I want. And I'm going to go back and I'm going to redo it, and I'm going to add some things. Now, some of your purists was just like, man, why'd he do that and do that? And, there's beef, but there's still an appreciation for the film. So, you got some people that love the original work. Some people don't appreciate some of the changes, but this is the finished product. This is what they really wanted to do as far as technology, and not having the ability to go back and do it. It just speaks volumes. Like, you know what, we're going to go back. Some people have been wanting to remake with current technology, and here it is. Here's the masterpiece re-released.
Like you were just saying, is they could do now what they have been wanting to do in the beginning, and I love it. I just love the fact that we get a chance to see the new characters and how their personalities expand, which I was about to ask you anyway, to segue into this. Do you have a particular new character that you like, that they've expanded on more in the remake now than you didn't know too much about before?
I guess I'm most impressed by the people who you really didn't get a chance to experience in the first game. Rude being one of them. There was a little bit there in the first one, but now you're getting an expanded role. Like, I had to go back and refresh my memory. I was like, he was in the first one? He was in the first one. He was. Like, it wasn't like it is now. So I had to kind of humble myself and brush up on a few things. And I'm looking forward to really getting a chance to dive into it again and play it from start to finish. So hopefully in the next few days, I'll get my version. It might be here today.
Okay. That'd be good. That'll be good.
Then I got to make a decision. Am I going to go ahead and just get the PS4 Pro, or am I going to wait till 5? Because it'll just be sitting here waiting for me. But I want the physical copy just to have it. Like, I got mine.
I know you've seen this from the trailer. The character that stood out to me the most from the new batch is Jesse. I really like Jessie. I think that they gave Jessie from Avalanche, they gave her some moxie, and they gave her some stuff that you would like. They gave her own distinct personality that took her away from Tifa and took her away from Aerith, and it gave her her own her.
I bet you held back because I was with you.
Didn't want you to fall.
So now I'm too weak to stay on a bike? Huh?
Just hold on tight, will you? What?
I might be falling after all. Psych?
We already know that you've been rude on Final Fantasy, which is recently. You've also done voice acting work for Mortal Kombat 11. You were Jax. You've done some work on Mafia 3. The Walking Dead is Conrad. I was like, when I was looking at your resume. I was looking at your resume. It's like, all right, brother, all right. You've done some work with Battlefield as well. Is this your voice acting work? Were you able to get it because you have been wanting to do it? Has that been something you had wanted to do, or just like voice acting, just kind of, and being a gamer, it just kind of like meshed up and you kind of fell to you, or did you go out and seek voice acting work for video games?
I think I really wanted to get into voiceover animation when I started watching Batman animated series, because they have so many great actors.
That's a classic.
On there, and great stories. So I was like, man, I want to get into VO animation and things like that. But I'm such a gamer. I've been I've been gaming since Atari.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, playing hardcore at some point, and really just from there. And I kind of told the story when I was in college, and my buddy lent me his PlayStation when I was out. I had no memory card. I wasn't familiar with the memory card, so the PlayStation just stayed on. And my buddy came in to study for midterms, and he was like, "Man, I gotta study." I was like, "Man, I'll turn it down. This is crackish, man. I had a problem." It's like, I turned it down.
Got that save itch. Let me save real quick.
Turn the TV off, man, and I'll put some cotton on the buttons. No, but yeah, it was a point just I had to turn it off, and it was heartbreaking. So yeah, naturally out of all that natural enthusiasm has helped me, I think, in my career. Being familiar with the game, so when certain scenarios come up, and I remember what I like to play on, and certain games that really stood out, where the voice acting was really immersive and just on point. I want to do something like that. So when these games came around and the opportunity was there, Battlefield, I worked on a live action game years ago, something for Take-Two, and it was called Jet Fighter Full Burn. Okay, that was really the first game I ever worked on, and I got a chance to play the best friend of the lead fighter pilots. So they even, because I'm originally from Ohio, Dayton, Ohio, so they put in the whole thing with Wright Pat Air Force Base and all that stuff. Okay, character, it was real cool. But yeah, that was my first foray into video game acting, and it was all at that time full capture, full motion video. So the first big game that I landed was Battlefield Hardline, and that was I say that was a trial by fire, because you got all the battle calls, all the shouting, all the screaming. And I remember at some point my boy was just like, "Yo, man, we gotta hit the brakes for a minute." I was like, "Nah, we gonna make it. Of course, they were cool. They understood high vocal stress job, and you gotta have the instrument for that. And they recognize it. They're professionals. Like, "Hey, you need to take a break." I was like, "Yeah, you take a break. You go get you some tea, some throat coat or whatever, and come back at it." But I remember, I had multiple sessions of that. And I remember after the first session, it felt like somebody hit me in my neck. So I was like, mad respect for those voiceover actors that do this on a regular. So I'm making through this. can't tell me nothing. I can do it.
No, I feel you.
Oh man, it was fun. It was fun, but it was definitely a rigorous experience. So, moving forward, and I think, yeah, Conrad was the big role. I did some smaller stuff on some games, and I don't even know if I got credit in there, but just some background stuff. But yeah, Conrad definitely helped to put it in another category. So I was like, oh, this is a big character too, and I was a fan of The Walking Dead and fan of that Telltale series. So yeah, that was immense. Like, I remember playing the first one, so to get in on that one, I was like, man, okay. Yeah, and the character changed a little bit dramatically from the original concept. So, yeah, just happy. I was like, yeah, it's a brother.
Yeah, that's it. I'll say that's so underappreciated. And with Final Fantasy VII, I they really looked at affirmative action with this game, because I was going around and I did count on screen once. I was like, it's like 4 or 5 black folk on the game. I was like, I was streaming it, matter of fact, and I was like, it's a sister. I was starting to sing the T and Tamara song. I was like, sister. I was like, I can't believe it, and she looked like a sister. Right. It wasn't any. She was proportioned like a black woman, and she had a black woman's voice. I think it was one of the scenarios in right when you meet Tifa and when you're going on different missions.
I see now. Heard you were ex-Shinra. Guess I shouldn't be surprised you'd go to bat for your old buddies. Me, I'm just looking out for my people. All there is to it. Hell with you. We can take care of this town ourselves. No more mercs or Shinra. We'll build up the watch and kick you all out.
But just that's a big deal. Representation is a huge deal. That was one of the reasons why Final Fantasy VII is one of my favorite games, is because of the fact of Barrett. Because somebody took the chance to say, hey, let's put this character. And he's one of the main 3 characters. Even if he was at the beginning a little stereotypical, I still like the fact that he was included in the game. And was it Tifa, Cloud, and Barrett could be arguably the best party in the original game too, which is crazy. Like, with all their combos and skill sets. Yeah,
it's a big deal, and it's always great, to see yourself represented in any game, because the money's all green, but the individual paying for it is is multicultural.
Exactly.
So when you see yourself, it's like, oh yeah, I go and support. There's somebody in there that looks like me. I can identify with them. And, a lot of RPGs I'm finding right now, because it's like, I just say for myself, like, if I wasn't able to go in and make a character that represented me, it's probably not gonna get my money. That would be one of the things I looked at. I was like, man, great story, everything. I was like, I can't make.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I understand. At least
I was like,
somebody. Can I get somebody in? Like, can I get somebody in the central cast?
Somebody in there,
please.
Yeah, right. So I mean, those were big props. I remember playing a game called Dragon Age, which was like one of my favorite RPGs. And I mean, it was so inclusive, not just from, race and gender. From even different sexualities and things like that. I was like, yo, they covered the gamut. So, when they made it just that diverse, it just added to the storyline. So it was like, cool. So I applaud games coming around and just saying, look, we got to start making it more diverse. Is it like even the new Star Wars? Because back in the day, you look around, it was just Lando. Yeah. Like, you the last, bro?
Yeah, that's it.
Then like the newer Star Wars is like more diverse cast. So it's like, hey, Lando, you pretty smooth, man. You got to go out there and help populate the galaxy.
Right? Right?
It was nice to see, be included in the mix. So, yeah, those are big things. So, yeah, coming up to Jax, didn't see that coming, because of course that went out under a different title too.
Okay.
The dialogue was different when I got the audition on that. So to go in the studio, I was like, I got what?
Mm-hmm.
Just be honest. Mortal Kombat was I played it, but it was not my game because I would constantly like you get people pulling fatalities off on you. It can kind of hurt you. Whether you got an ego or not. Like, man, come on, man. Just let me fall. I'm already beat. Like, you got to go to the dark screen now.
Yeah. You got to rip my eyes out.
Yeah. Just do it. Just, hey, man. I was like,
Yep.
you win. Yeah, so coming up to Final Fantasy, it was just like, man, and I worked on Horizon Zero Dawn. So that was another big title. And, yeah, looking forward. I got some games coming up that unfortunately I can't talk about, and with the current situation,
Understandable,
that's going on, things are kind of on hold. So until we get to the point where we can get the recording capabilities and people can pick up where we left off. Yeah, I look forward to talking about those again. So yeah. We'll definitely reconnect.
Okay.
Titles coming up, bro.
All right. Well, that sounds good. I do have another question for you to follow up that. I had to get my notepad out. Because not only I want to do some voice acting as well, and I looked up a couple things about it. And that's when it was funny when you said somebody like it hit you in your throat. It made me think, because I was looking up something, and somebody was like, people don't realize how strenuous it is to scream or yell or do the same thing all day. And I have a lot of friends that want to also transition into doing voice act work. Shout out to my homeboy Voice Legend. He just had Vicky Winters on his channel, who had done some work with I forgot the girlfriend of Crash Bandicoot, but she had done some work with that and some other work in video game industry as well. Do you have any advice or tips or tricks or classes that like a newcomer would be able to take to jump into animation and video game voice acting?
Good question. I guess it always calls for to do a search. I'm trying to think. Somebody just recommended a book that I saved, and I'd have to leave the screen and check my notes. But for anybody that's a vocalist, I heard any singers and things like that, you already have an instrument. If you're singing, you already know what your instrument you do, you know what your voice can do. I would say I'm a non-vocalist. I have sung for a show, but yeah, it's not something I was familiar with getting into it. And kind of coming into it, I found out you don't have to do all these different character voices and things. Like, if you have them, great. You just add into your repertoire. But most of the time we want your natural voice. The first gig that I booked off of, they wanted a Samuel Jackson sound-alike. Now, I don't sound like Sam, but I was able to grab his cadence.
Okay.
This essence to it.
Yeah.
Now, I was familiar with what they were casting, the whole universe around it. So I was like, okay, I think I got this. Now I can do it, my voice, but it is that essence and that cadence that Sam has. And I booked off of it. And I booked a couple gigs off of that because sometimes they want to sound alike.
Yeah.
Dead on. Then other times it was just like, no, if you can give us that essence, they'll tell you what they want. But yeah, I think it's going to depend what area you're in as far as where you are in the region. See if I can check my phone to see if that book was in there.
Okay.
But you can go on Amazon and start looking at voiceover acting books. And I may have pulled this real quick. Let me see. Because I was just on a IG meet that a friend of mine who I worked on a game with, his name is Jeff Shine, plug to you, Jeff, and Nicole Tompkins. They both just did Resident Evil.
Oh, the remakes that just came out.
Another remake.
Ooh, okay. Final Fantasy got me caught up. I still haven't played the demo of that.
Yeah, man. So many, I think people just going into the vault games. They want to they want to see remade, just like great movies. And it's like, we can do this now. Man, I think it's saved on my iPad here. I'm afraid if I leave the screen, I'll leave the whole.
Oh, well, that's cool. That's cool. We can go back to it.
Yeah, but just reading up on that, if you have the ability to create a home studio, and that's really where we're at right now. Getting the equipment, the mic equipment. If you want, I can send you a list.
Oh, I appreciate that. Yeah.
Equipment. You can post maybe a link for some people if they want to look at equipment to get microphones. So if you have the ability to create a home studio, I would say that would behoove anybody right now, because right now people who have that in place, they're doing a lot more work. So I'm in the process of getting my apartment together, accommodate as best I can, soundproof it, so that I can start doing more work here until we're able to get back to studio. So all those things are helpful. But yeah, it's just going to come down to you and knowing your instrument, finding out, the types of things you like to do, whether it's animation, whether it's video games, whether it's just commercials, audiobooks, you just run the gamut. Yeah, but for me, I'm not saying it, I'm a geek for animation. I could almost stay there and be happy, but there are other things that, I wouldn't mind doing there are a couple spots and things, commercial wise. Like, that's me. And I have done some VO commercials and things of that nature, but there's more to be had, man. And I just worked on my first full length animation.
Oh, okay. Well, congratulations. All right.
Spies in Disguise. Yeah, Spies in Disguise that came out on Christmas.
Oh, okay. All right.
Had two brief roles in there. I would have to tell you, that's me and that's me.
Oh, okay.
But I'm in the credits. I was like, I made it.
Yeah, you in the credits. That's you on there. Yeah, you on there. Well, Will, I sincerely appreciate taking the time to chop it up with me about Final Fantasy, video games, affirmative action in the industry, and just it's always great to meet another geek, someone who's you can feel the passion, and that's where that I've taken from the conversation that we've had is I don't think if you were passionate about any of these things, that the success and the opportunities for you would have not been there. That's just how I feel personally. I don't know it personally, but that's what it seems from the outside looking in. So I do appreciate the time, the advice. And you guys, this is William Christopher Stevens, so you guys can check him out on all his sociables. I'll have links also in the description below. And as y'all know, for me, I'm Q, aka the Geek. All the descriptions will be in the below where you can find me as well. We'll have to do this again once we can talk about some of your old projects or some of your newer projects, everything. We can set up something again. I really appreciate you stopping by, man, and thank you again. I appreciate it. And please, when I have to know how you enjoy this game once you get your PS4 Pro or PS5. Hopefully it's the Pro. I ain't trying to make you spend extra, but hopefully it's the Pro, because by then nobody can spoil it for you if you got the Pro.
Well, nobody can spoil it for me anyway, man. It's like, I'm gonna play through it just like the first one, and eventually that would happen. I say for anybody that's interested in pursuing a career, just keep the faith. It's depending on your journey, it may be a little bit more challenging than other people, but you hit it on the head. It's enthusiasm and a love for doing it. Because you're going to go through those tough times. You're going to question yourself and have all those things. But it's really keep the faith and keep your commitment and never lose your joy. That's important through the process.
We're going to sign off. Again, I appreciate you, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Hey there, partner. I'm sure you're having the time of your life, but we're needed on standby for a job at something about Sector 7. So get your ass back here now.
Understood.
Got somewhere else to be?
Apparently so. Go home and stay there.
You know I can't do that.
Huh?